Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host, once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, I want to thank you for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, Thursday, morning show edition. And yes, you are watching the only show unofficially endorsed by Mountain Dew. We want to get into a couple topics today. One of them will be, as you can tell from the thumbnail on the screen, there are some players that are openly going to be hitting the market for either low-round trades or have outright just hit free agency, and why they make sense for the Detroit Lions. The guy in the thumbnail, we'll wait for the main topic of the day to reveal it. If you don't already know who it is, I think it makes a lot of sense because you could, in my opinion, add to two spots with one move. We're going to get into that during the main topic of the day. Also, real quick, before we get into the 5 headlines now, before we get into the main topic of the day, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Trying to make that march on up the charts. Like to try to, by the start of next season, get to around 18,000, maybe 20,000 would be great. But, hey, we can just get 2 more subs in front of us now. That would be most wonderful. Also, if you have a half second of time, it doesn't cost a dang dime. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more. Thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you are considering looking for any kind of real estate moves in the great state of Michigan, where I can personally work for you, or the continental United States, where I can do some stuff, but it would be a little different, then go ahead and call me. Maybe shoot me a text. You see the number on your screen, 269-998-2384. If you want a realtor who's got over 30 years in the industry, who's got a ton of work with fallout shelters, commercial properties, residential property, vacant land. I mean, you get it. If it's real estate related, I'm the person that probably got as much experience, if not more experience, than just about anybody out there. You want somebody who's not going to overcharge you, overwork you, make sure nobody ever does the same to you, then go ahead and reach out to me and we'll go from there. All right, with all that done, said all the way, we're going to get this show rocking, rolling, moving on forward, and kicking off with 5 glorious headlines now. All right, the main topic of the day will be included in the 5 glorious headlines now. So let's get moving with it. 4 mid-tier free agents who make the most sense for the Detroit Lions. SI.com. Story by Vito Chirito. There are going to be a lot of speculative ads by the Detroit Lions for the Detroit Lions in the next month as we lead into free agency. Free agency is coming up. The scouting combine's right around the corner. So you know what? We're just starting to pick up speed with all this. Let's come up with these 4, see who Vito had for us. And some of these I wouldn't be mad about. First one on this list is current Carolina Panther center Cade Mays. Mays is somebody we've talked about for a few weeks now at the least, because we get it. The Lions need to add a center. Graham Glasgow, is he really a center? I mean, he's played it in the NFL. He's played it somewhat in college. Whether or not you think he's great, I'll leave that to you. But Mays, here's what we can say. His 98.6 pass blocking efficiency rating is one of the best in the NFL. You guys saw it with your own eyes past season. Man, Lions got a whole lot of pressure coming up the middle on Jared Goff, the running backs, whoever else you want to throw on the list. Once the Minnesota Vikings kind of exposed after the bye some of the issues Lions had in the interior offensive line, other teams just try to replicate it, and they did a pretty good job with it. They had some hit or miss moments where the line looked good, other moments not so well, and a lot of that was Glasgow at the center position. I get he was playing on one leg. I get he did the best he could. I also get if you get Cade Mays, you're probably upgrading. Can the Lions upgrade even more beyond that? Everybody's going to say Linderbaum this, Linderbaum that. Maybe you get him, maybe you can't. But one thing we can probably all agree on, Mays would be a significant upgrade for the Detroit Lions. Next on this list, I ain't mad about it if it happens, Kobe Bryant. And no, not that Kobe Bryant. He's a safety for the Seattle Seahawks. I actually like a lot of his game. I think he's not exactly Kirby Joseph. He's not exactly Brian Branch. He's kind of a culmination of them both. But Fitzpatrick has him getting a contract worth roughly $14.3 million this offseason. If he can get him for that price, I think it brings up a lot of interesting dynamics to the defense. We'll be talking about this during the main topic of the day as well. He turns 27 in March, so by no means is he over the hill or starting to decline, but you probably do have to look at it as no more than a 2 to 3 year contract with Kobe Bryant if you were to go out and get him. Brian had posted a 72.7 overall PFF grade this particular season. So it wasn't horrible, wasn't great, but you know what? That's why you're getting him at that price tag. Recording a 80.9 run defense grade since 2024. So what do the Lions want out of their secondary, especially their safeties? You got to be able to do run support. And Kobe Bryant, to be fair, does that. Next one on this list. We're going to be going back in time a little bit with Jadeveon Clowney, who's currently with the Dallas Cowboys. There are a lot of people, if you go back and rewatch the last 2 games of the Cowboys season, they weren't playing for much, but Clowney, man, he had some pretty good games. Why is that? He understands he's playing for a new contract at that point. He's trying to put stuff out there for his representation, his agents, to go out and say, Clowney still has gas in the tank. He can still help a team. If the Lions were able to get him, here's what I would say. He's typically on about a 1-year deal because he has the same knee situation going on as Kirby Joseph. So if you want kind of proof that, yes, you can reinflate the knee, yes, you can play through the same thing Kirby Joseph's going through, look no further than Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney, I think he's had a pretty good overall NFL career. He's not exactly Hall of Fame material, but does he really need to be to help the Detroit Lions? He is a consistent person in name and reference to the Pro Bowl. Sometimes he makes it, sometimes he doesn't. He's going to get a 1-year deal, sporadic saying somewhere right around $6 million. And to be fair, with what he was able to do last year, I wouldn't be mad about that at $6 million. He still makes a lot of plays in the backfield, still gets to the quarterback, helps out against the run. He's not elite, but he's not far off. I guess the question I would have for the Duke crew is, do you think he helps Aiden Hutchinson get better and Hutchinson help him get better? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, next one on this list. How about cornerback Roger McCreary of the Los Angeles Rams, 26. You know, he has a 4-year career. He owns a 70 overall PFF grade, including a 68.7 coverage mark. And after joining the Rams, he elevated his play exponentially to a 79.4 coverage grade, and the 4th among slot corners with let's see, 7. We'll just round up slightly and say 7 snaps per target. Or excuse me, 7 snaps per game at that position. Probably going to land somewhere around a 2-year deal, roughly $6.2 million, according to Fitzpatrick. So, what do you think of those 4 possibilities? If it was me, I think adding Clowney and Mays really makes a lot of sense. And not that they all don't make some level of sense, but I like the price tags with both those guys and how much I think they would actually play for the Detroit Lions. All right, next one here. Detroit Lions president and CEO Rod Wood announced the retirement story by Josh Helmer of Lions Wire. This came out later yesterday. I figured I'd just save it for the morning show. While this is going to impact the Detroit Lions organization, I do think it's not going to be a huge impact as far as the product on the field. Why do I say that? Rod Wood is more of a financial advisor to the Detroit Lions or the Ford family or the Ham family, whoever's family you want to throw in there. His impact on the product on the field isn't as large as many would think. Now, he's going to handle a lot of the paperwork, the financing with the organization, but General Manager Brad Holmes, and, you know, there are other people for sure that they really handle getting this guy, that guy in the product on the field, at least that we're going to watch. If you want somebody behind the scenes handling all the money coming in and going out. That's your guy there. Who's going to replace him? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Rod Wood is going to remain in his position until the Lions do sign somebody, find somebody to be his replacement. There has been speculation that, Chris Spielman could take over the spot. It's possible. I just don't really think it's in Chris Spielman's wheelhouse. I could be completely wrong. Maybe the Lions are going to have the next president do things that past presidents haven't done. And as a CEO, I don't really think that's going to be much of Chris Spielman's forte. It's not his knowledge base. His knowledge base is football, identifying talent, people to run that talent, find and groom the talent, develop the talent. And I just don't think that's really the role of this Detroit Lions CEO or president. But if you have different thoughts on who they should go get, let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you would be so kind. All right, next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Detroit Lions extend radio partnership with 97.1 FM in multiple-year deal. This from Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. Again, another story that came out later in the day yesterday. For those who maybe weren't aware, 97.1 fell out of favor with the Detroit Lions organization about a half decade ago, in part because Rico Beard, who we were talking about yesterday, Mike Valetti from 97.1 The Ticket, really took a lot of shots during the Matt Millen era. I guess it would actually be longer than 5 years ago. They took shots at him enough where the Detroit Lions organization parted ways. We're not going to extend our agreement with 97.1 The Ticket because they thought like the Lions weren't very good at that point. And, hey, a local radio broadcast group was over the top with their takes on it. Have your own opinion on it. But the Lions did go to different products or broadcast partners for a while. They did about 5 or so years ago resume that relationship, which is also part of why you got Dan Miller calling the games. There's a lot of layers to this thing. What we do know is Dan Miller and the radio broadcast group that we currently have for the Detroit Lions games isn't going to change anytime soon. Mike Valetti and such, I guess they've mended fences with him, or at least told him that we're not worried about your takes about the Detroit Lions anymore. Whatever you're going to say, Dan Miller and that group is going to stay with the Detroit Lions. And yes, 97.1 FM is going to be the host for the Detroit Lions broadcast, radio-wise. All right. Another story that came out yesterday. Some of you got this over to me, but once I looked into it a little bit more, I was like, I'm not really sure if this is huge Detroit Lions news, but it does need its just due. Representatives for Terrion Arnold clarifies Florida legal matter, Detroit Lions and SI by John Macron. If you didn't catch it yesterday, there was, at least for a little while yesterday, some information that maybe Terrion Arnold was involved to some level or degree in a kidnapping situation down in Florida. Thankfully, more information came out about an hour, maybe 2 hours afterwards. And the 2 people that were sort of listed as somehow tied to Terrion Arnold were later found out they have no ties to him whatsoever. There were some layers where maybe this guy knew that guy. But, man, if you go across everybody watching the show, if you go through all your friends, you probably do know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who did something. And that kind of seemed to be the story with Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold does not employ either one of these guys. I don't know, maybe he chewed bubble gum with one of them before. So, I mean, and that's really kind of how this story played out. He may, to some level, know somebody who knew somebody, but Terrion Arnold wasn't involved in a kidnapping attempt down in Florida. He didn't hire somebody to kidnap anybody. He didn't hire either one of the guys that did try to kidnap somebody to do security or whatever it was. So once the story kind of fully digested itself, was it really Detroit Lions news? I don't know. To each their own, I guess. All right, we're going to get to the last of 5 headlines now. Like I said, this is going to be the main topic of the day, and there will be some layers to this. So 1, 2, 3, let's get into the main topic of the day. Full disclosure, I once knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that knew a guy. So there you go for the Terrion Arnold take. All right, main top of the day here. Pros and cons. The Lions trading for Micah Fitzpatrick, Detroit Lions and SI, Christian Boer. So if you were also not aware, late yesterday, there was rumors that the Lions are one of a few teams that have had conversations with the Miami Dolphins about trading for Micah Fitzpatrick. I would not have any problems with it. This is my opinion. It has nothing to do with Detroit Lions. I think Fitzpatrick would fit in here very well, especially if you have any kind of questions about what's going on with Kirby Joseph's knee. They're very similar players. They both play and excel at single high safety. Fitzpatrick used to be a cornerback, got moved to safety several seasons ago, and I think he does a whole lot of good stuff, playing the run, playing the pass. He's very flexible in the D. If Kirby Joseph comes back, in my opinion, you'd make both of them your starting safeties. Move Brian Branch, I know we talked about it before in the show, to slot corner spot or a pseudo linebacker spot, especially if the Lions are going to play more and more zone coverage. I think it makes a lot of sense to get all three on the field because all three are playmakers. They played the run. I would say Branch and Fitzpatrick played the run better than Kirby. And that's not a shot at Kirby. I just think the other two guys are better. What you could do with that, especially since the Lions front four, typically under the Dan Campbell regime, whoever your defensive coordinator has been, your front four's first responsibility is shutting down the run, setting the edge. That means you free up a lot of those linebackers, secondary personnel, to do different things. I'm talking more X's and O's at this point. I like this move a lot. Yes, on a separate note, the Dolphins have released Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, and I don't think the Lions are going for Tyreek Hill. Maybe if he wants to come in and play on a one-year deal for 50 cents or something like that, then they would add him. And, man, we could all dream about that situation. But I don't think he's coming here. Chubbs, on the other hand, I think he would make some sense, especially if you can get him at virtually a team-friendly contract. You wouldn't have to trade draft capital to get him. You get him, you slot him over opposite Aiden Hutchinson, and again, you add Micah Fitzpatrick or somebody else. That defense starts looking pretty dang interesting. Chubbs, I think we all agree, he's not gold jacket Hall of Fame material, but he's a very good player. Sounds like Aiden Hutchinson to me. Hutchinson, I don't know if he'll be in the Hall of Fame or not. I'm not worried about it on today's show. That's somewhere down the line. I think we all agree he may not be the greatest defensive end in the NFL, but he doesn't have to be. He is what he is. He's a very good defensive end. And if you can get Chubbs out there, then you know what? He's a very good defensive end as well. Hope that some of the interior defensive line gets better. And now, like we've been talking about with Fitzpatrick, if you were to add his skill sets to this defense, you open up a lot of interesting dynamics for what you can now do with your linebackers, whether that's Brian Branch being used as a safety / slot corner / linebacker. I don't know. I'll leave that to the defensive coordinator to figure out. But what can you do with speed? Speed's one of those things, man. It's like size. You can't teach. And now, if Brian Branch is one of your linebackers, along with Captain Jack, along with Derek Barnes, we'll see if Anzalone comes back or Rodrigo comes back. But with that front seven, I think you could get after quarterbacks, get after running backs, while having very, very good coverage. I would love the idea of Kirby Joseph maybe taking care of that knee a little bit and being allowed to just play deep, single high coverage corner and not being asked to do a whole lot on a regular basis against the run. Fitzpatrick can play the run, and, I think you help preserve both guys. What are your thoughts, Duke Crew? And let's face it, in the next several weeks, we're going to get a whole lot of these types of scenarios. We're going to hear about Brad Holmes has talked to this team, that team. And to be fair, in Brad Holmes' tenure with the Detroit Lions, he has admitted he's had some conversations, even though we don't always want to hear about it. He's had conversations for Burns when he was with the Carolina Panthers, Sweat when he was with the Washington Commanders. He's had conversations with the Raiders about Crosby. I mean, he's come out and admitted these things. Just because you have conversations doesn't mean you pull the trigger. He's no different than any other professional sports GM. I'm going to place calls to see where you're at and see if I can get something on the cheap. If I can get extreme value, I'll make the move. And I think most of us would agree, Brad Holmes, he's got to feel like he's getting real good value in order to pull that trigger. What would it cost for either one of these guys? That's a question I can't answer. Fitzpatrick, I would assume, would be a later round draft pick, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a bidding war waiting to happen. Chubb, I think you guys get with him now being cut from the Miami Dolphins. It's just going to come down to the contract terms and who's going to try to outbid you. And that's, if I'm a vested veteran NFL player, especially a very good one, I'm going to go with what makes more financial sense to me. We can all say, hey, we want to play for the championship at the same time. And that may be true with some players, but the other players, hey, this is my profession. I'm not going to, lament anybody watching the show who says, hey, I don't want to go get this new job because I want to stay here in my current job to try to win a championship. No, you're probably chasing a new contract and a better financial situation for you and the family. All right, Duker, what do you think about all these different thoughts? Would you add either one of these guys? Would you add Fitzpatrick? What would you do with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch if you were to add Fitzpatrick? I like flexibility. I like being able to change defenses. I think it causes confusion for the teams. And I'm not just talking football, any sport. The more you can do on D, the better your team is, in my humble opinion. You force other teams to react to what you're doing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Let's slide on over, see what you guys all have to say. Hopefully everybody is having a good start to your day. Scrolling top the screen, almost there. Trying to make it to the end zone. And here we go. Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Back at you, Michael. Henry Morris Sr. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! I think it's his. I really do think, man, a couple key moves this offseason. And, hey, every content creator, every journalist is going to say the Lions have a chance next year to win it. But I really do look at them and say, if you could just fix that offensive line and invest in that defense, I think the Lions have as good an opportunity to win that Super Bowl as any other team in the NFL. Maybe I'm being a homer. I don't know. Dennis, good morning. All exclamation point. Great day to be a Lions fan. I like the way you're thinking. Johnny, good morning, folks. Smash those buttons. Yes, if you would, please. Who's that in the picture? Mike Fitzpatrick. And how you know? Pierce, I think it's Mike. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Man of much vision. I'm Bobo. Good morning, Duke Crew. Ahmed will get his day. Woo! And I think you're right. I think his day is here sooner versus later. Johnny, thank you, Pierce. Who is that guy? Anyways, never heard of him. Well, he's played for quite a few teams. He's played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, amongst others. Yeah, he's a pretty good safety. I like him. And who once upon a time was a corner. Good morning, the fine people of the Duke Crew. One pride. Is that Chubb in the picture? It is not Chubb in the picture. It is Fitzpatrick. Johnny L., does that look like a Dolphins jersey? It was a Dolphins jersey. Hookadoo. Good morning, Pierce, Johnny L., and the man, Henry. Oh yeah, there we go. Conan Barbarian. Hey, all. I hope we do add Chubb from Miami. Thought he got released. He did get released. Him, Tyreek Hill, and I think they released some other players as well. They're cleaning house in Miami. I think that's something we can all agree on. Johnny L. Hey, Coach, do you ever get what I sent you? When did you send it? I guess I'll have to let you know. Till the Hunt, Mike Fitzpatrick is one of the top safeties in the league, like Kirby, Branch, and Kyle Hamilton. Yes, I would agree with that. Kyle Hamilton has some skill sets. I think we would say some of the other guys don't, but vice versa. Fitzpatrick has some that maybe Kyle Hamilton doesn't. All right, Henry Moore, good morning, Hookadoo, my brother. Hey, Johnny L. and Bo, all of the above. That would be a nice addition until I concur, Johnny L. What's a good word, Henry? We'll find out. Trey, what do you got? Good morning, everybody. Question mark, can we get a chip this season? So get after it, Brad. Exclamation point. I think we can get to the championship for sure. Great Mary, good morning, Duke Crew, to Johnny L., Hookadoo, Dennis, Bo, and Henry. Everybody on the list. Hookadoo, it is Mike Fitzpatrick in the thumbnail. You are correct. The Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan, the world-renowned Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! And good to see you. Johnny, thank you, Hookadoo. Henry Moore Sr., I understand that Miami is putting everyone out wholesale to do a rebuild. You're not wrong there, man. They're cutting people. They've talked to different teams about several different players. And for all those that wanted us to draft their quarterback back in the day, maybe that thought wasn't so great. Just Coach Dan, I really do think you should add coverage to the Pistons. You know, ball. Fair enough. So it would be a nice, ideal add-on. Maybe just cover the major Detroit teams? Question mark. A bunch of you guys have mentioned that over the years, and I get it, especially during the slower times, the NFL season. I guess we could toy with it. If you guys are interested in it, let's just throw it out of the Duke Crew. If you guys are interested in it, let me know. Henry Moore Sr., good morning, Trim, Hookadoo. Queen Mary is here. Let the royal party begin. Hey, nothing wrong with a good party, especially a royal party. Johnny L., good morning, Queen Mary, and everybody else. Could be true. Big Eddie, I'd like to see Coach expand. All right. Trim Reaper, good morning, Henry. Hey, more. Good morning, Queen Mary. May your day be fruitful. How about that? Beautifully fruitful. Hookadoo, Trim, did you land on the right airport today? That would be good. I know you've been lost the last couple days. Trim Reaper, all hail the Lions Talk Live Queens. Well said. Johnny L., expectations are high for the Detroit Lions sports teams. I would say so. Right now they should be. They're all trying to push for championships. David, who are we adding? Nobody as of yet, but it does sound like the Lions have had some conversations with the Miami Dolphins. All right, Queen Mary, good morning, Trim Reaper. I keep trying to get an accurate weather report at the wrong airport. That happens, my friend. Queen Mary, Henry, thank you, and may your day be filled with love and happiness. I like the way you're thinking, Queen. Johnny L. Hey, Trim, are you getting lost like Joe Biden? Oh, boy, we'll find out. Trim Reaper, good morning, Mary. Johnny, no, I'm not getting political. Good to hear. Dre Day, I love it's a Lions channel, Coach Dan. Don't really want other sports involved, football or bust. Fair enough, Dre Day. Let's see, Franz Ferdinand, scouting combine almost here. Free agency is just a few weeks away. Things are about to pick up. Exclamation point. You're not wrong. NFL has done a good job the last decade or two, I guess you say, making sure really the down times in the season, really only a few weeks, maybe a month, because you have one event going into another event, going into another event. Jameer, greetings, salutations, Drew Crew family. Back at you. Always a pleasure to have you. Drum River, I'm confused as Michelle Obama's. Oh, boy. Let's go on from this stuff. All right, Drum River, I messed it up. It happens. Johnny L, yes, indeed, France. Drake, everyone see Kirby is getting acupuncture on his knee. I did see that. I think he posted on his Instagram, whatever it was, a couple days ago. To be fair, I understand you're trying to promote more blood flow to the area, healing to the area. How much will that make an impact? It's beyond my words of wisdom to be able to say. Marshawn Rod Wood retires. What kind of impact does that have on the Detroit Lions? More of a financial front office stuff, a bookkeeping stuff. I don't really think as far as product on the field, unless he's got duties I'm not aware of, I don't think it's going to impact it. Johnny, I really don't know at this point, Marsha. I would say that's accurate. Server, and good morning to Mary Smith, Henry Moore, Johnny L, and Hookadoo! Exclamation point. Susan, not much, I would think, Marsha. Me either. Thomas, good morning. Dan, up early in Arkansas! Exclamation point. I watch your show every day. Great content. Go Lions. Hey, thanks for that, Thomas. Hopefully you enjoy being a part of the new crew. Amy, to our illustrious coach, good morning to our illustrious coach Dan and fabulous new crew! Exclamation point. Good morning, Queen Mary, Hookadoo, Henry, Johnny L, Trim, everyone punch those buttons. Thank you very much, as always, Amy, for saying those kind words. Pierce, Johnny, overall, the top 5 safeties in the league, depending on what Miami would want from him. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot from him at this point in his career. I know he once upon a time was traded for a first-round pick, etc. I just think those days are behind him, but I think you get him for mid, maybe later round pick. Could be wrong. Tori Apple, like the idea of adding free agents to see more than trading for adding to the team. Me as well. Henry Moore, good morning. Amy, Dennis, Kirby's knee is still swollen. Seems like he's doing a whole lot to it to try to help it heal. So wait and see. He's got several months, obviously, still. Ready. Executive hires and retires are beyond my fandom. Laughing out loud. Not that invested, I guess. No, I get you there. I'm not really worried about that part. It has an impact on the team, for sure, to your point. But is it something that's really going to affect most fans? Probably not. Coach Rock, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you. Silver, good morning, Marshawn, Dre Day, Big Eddie, Trim, and Attila. Dre Day, good morning, Silver. Pat Rock, how is everybody today? Question mark. Give me a woo, Coach. You want a woo? We'll give you a woo. How about a 1, 2, and a 3? Where you go, Phil? Amazing. Hey, it's always amazing, Phil. Sounds like a magician. Amy, good morning, Silver, exclamation point. Hookadoo, Rocky, my man, grip morning, my friend, 100%. Queen Mary, good morning, Silver and Amy. See, Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. While walking into the gym, but I'm listening in. Have a good workout. Silver, good morning, Amy, Tori, Susan, Coach Rock, and Pierce Sargent. Everybody on the list. Johnny L, after the show, I'm going back to bed. Enjoy your rest, nap, I don't know. Hookadoo, Amy, Silver Surfer, top of the morning. Always good morning. Coach Rock, Ron Wood retiring does nothing to the state of the Lions. Probably true. Coach Rock, good morning. Let's see. Good morning, Mary and Hookadoo. 5 fingers ready. This channel has really grown on me. You do a good job, Coach. Thanks for that. And I, for one, like the idea of you adding coverage of other sports. We'll find out what happens, man. We'll find out. Great day. Like how Hutch said, all the players they need is on the team already. They just need to get healthy and get back to top 10 defense. I would like that. You're going to add more players. I get it, the draft or some free agent moves. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot for the Lions to have 2 top 10 units, offense and defense. You got to fix the offensive line. If it were me coaching the team or drafting, I would focus on the front 7. And yes, to me, Brian Branch being a part of the front 7 is something I would be calculating. Let's see, Coach Rock, good morning, Surfer, Henry Moore Sr. Yep, Exclamation point. Johnny L. That Z monster had me in its clutches this morning. Good to hear. Phil, well, I had to get up. Glad that you got up this morning. Summers are lost Rod Woods. Question mark. NFL should compensate Detroit with a couple of first-round picks. I agree with your assessment. I think 20 first-round picks this year would help us out exponentially, taking away from the top 20 teams other than the Detroit Lions. Gary, morning, everyone. Back at you. Coach Rock. I would pick up Chubb if he wants to play in the D. I would too. Jess, good morning, crew. Same to you. Hoogadoo. Joseph C., good morning to you. Marsha, Johnny L., I have learned so much following this podcast. And, of course, I have lots more to learn. And don't we all? I enjoy it. Exclamation point. And we enjoy you being a part of the Duke crew. Johnny L., good morning, Jessica. Great, Mary. Good morning, Rock. Carrie, Jess, Johnny L., the NFL change is so quickly. I just can't keep up. You guys keep me up. Hey, it's part of all of us working out together, right? Hoogadoo. Carrie has stepped up to the building. Grip morning, 100%. Trim Reaver, do you know what happens to people who watch Lions Talk Live and don't like and subscribe, do you? You just made the list, says Trim Reaver. Silver Server, Johnny, Johnny, you sound like Charlie Brown today. You got a blanket? Let's find out. Johnny L, I know I do. Silver Server. Silver Server, good morning, Carrie, Phil, and Jessica, exclamation point. Johnny, funny thing is my grandpa used to call me Charlie Brown. Hey, who knew? Coach Rock, my grandpa stepped away to get coffee, so I wanted to wish him a happy birthday before he gets back. Well, happy birthday, Coach Rock. Man, see, Christina Conway, good morning to everyone and the Lions team. Woo! And back at you, Johnny. Peace out. Peace out. The show. Catch you all tomorrow. We'll see you then, Johnny L. Vincent, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Woo! Exclamation point, back at you. Dennis, good morning, Dan, the Duke crew. Miles Margaret. Happy birthday, Grandpa Rock. Ooh, there you go. Matt Fisher, good morning, Duke crew. Like number 26. Snow is about gone. Congrats on that. And yeah, the snow is starting to disappear. We were going to practice yesterday. I took my daughter with me, and there was this snow, this car on Red Arrow Highway. I was like, man, just a week or so ago, you could barely see the top of the car because there was that much snow on it. Now you can fully see it. Matt Fisher, woo, back at you. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. If you know anything about the Continental Football League, pay attention tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. to their social media. We'll be paying attention to it indeed. Thanks for that service advice. Service Sir Johnny, all right, is strong with a smile. Matt, Big D, good morning, crew. Back at you. Hoogadoo. Rock, I'd like you to wish you the happiest of birthdays, Mr. 100%. Mary Smith, happy birthday to Grandpa Rock. Hoogadoo. Let's see, Miles Margaret. Let the party begin. Gotta love the party. Any more? What? Exclamation point. Happy birthday, Rock. Lauren, happy birthday, Rock. Jim, we should be interested in Ebersol. Yeah. I've seen his name out there a few times, and I'd be down with that too. Coach Rock, my granddaughter snuck one in on me, but thank you to her, and thank you to all my grit friends. Woo! Well, happy birthday, man. Enjoy being 29. It's your last birthday in the 20s, right? Bill, what do you got? Greetings, Sanitations coaching crew. Had changed my profile pic. Started training again. Hey, congrats on that. Enjoy the good workout. Maybe I will be the Lions' first 63-year-old rookie. Where do I sign up? Hey, go ahead and get an agent. Sign up with the NFL. There you go. Hoogadoo. Good morning, Lauren. Vincent, happy birthday, Rock. Marsha, Susan Scott, thank you. I'm learning. Hey, aren't we all? Aren't we all, my friend? Bill, it will be a long commute from the Philippines, but I'm ready. Hey, one short flight at a time, right? Lauren, big announcement Friday morning, Hoogadoo, and we'll be checking out. Hoogadoo is a thumbs up. Sir, I heard poor TA involved in some mess down in Tampa. I don't know, something like his bodyguard and cousin involved. Seems as though they are innocent. Sometimes, no matter what you do, trouble looks for you. Yeah, it sounds like, unless I misunderstood everything, Silver Server, it doesn't sound like Terry Arnold really had anything to do with anything. So, I don't know. Queen Mary Silver, it's not TA, the news tied to him. It is because he, them. All right. Hire them. How about that? Gary, happy birthday to Rock's grandpa. There we go. All right. Or Grandpa Rock. How about that? Eddie Moore Senior, very true, sir. Jen, good morning. All, exclamation point. Silver, sir. Yes, I saw a picture of Kirby's knee in Micro Mike. Looks horrible with needles all over the place. Acupuncture was there. Kirby not playing this season, perhaps never again. Get that safety. I viewed it differently. I viewed it as a positive thing that he was having that done. I think he's having some real good work done to it, but That doesn't mean exactly that he's going to be able to play. So we're going to have to wait and see. Vincent, Clowney is probably better than Davenport. I would agree with you 100% there. Mary, good morning. Jen Martinez, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Exclamation point, happy Friday Eve. Hey, how about that? I like that. Henry Moore, good morning, Jen. Hope your day is glorious. I concur. Jen, good morning, Miss Mary. Hoogadoo. Jen, you know what water grit it grows? Yeah, you got to grow some grit with water. Jen, good morning. Henry Hoogadoo, 6 a.m. in Chicago. Hey, it's awfully early for you. Hopefully you get some Z's. Martinez, Disner, or Spielman. Maybe one of the other. Eddie, I think if the Lions sign Clowney, one deal, $2.5 to $3 million for 1 year if the Lions sign him to a 1 year deal. Yeah, most of his career, since he had the Kirby Joseph knee situation developed, most teams will only give him a 1 year deal. And that's probably something that he's going to have the rest of his career. Kirby Joseph, once this contract either is torn apart, restructured, or whatever, that's probably what he's looking at as well. Doesn't mean he can't have a long, fruitful career. What's going on with Kirby Joseph has affected a lot of other NFL players. It's not unique to him. Some don't play again. Some do. Everybody's body responds different. Thomas looks as this. Muhammad, did our pass rush look as if it was ever truly feared? Question mark. When did we ever say, watch out, damn opponent? Correct with that. Thomas, I think Chris just wants to stay in the shadows. He's not an out front kind of guy. I would agree with that. Yeah, he's great at what he does. Yeah, 100%. Martinez and 97.1 Rico Beard saying Amara St. Brown might get traded. He did say that. Taylor Made, hey, talking about somebody we haven't seen in a hot second. One of the OGs, Chris Spielman, is and always will be a linebacker. Different wiring than a CEO. Well said, my friend. Well said indeed. Motown Mitch, funny how right when Terry Foster's, well, there, go there. How about that? Martinez 97.1 told the truth about the Lions back then. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us remember the Matt Millen era. I actually liked Matt Millen. I did get to interview him a few times. And one thing he did say that always stuck with me, he listened to the wrong people. He knew football. I think anybody who ever talked to him for more than like a hot second knew he understood football. The problem is he had never been a NFL CEO, general manager before. He had everybody telling him, no, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he didn't listen to himself. He listened to the people he shouldn't listen to. And it's always stuck with me throughout me being a coach or a general manager. If I'm going to go down in flames, it's going to be because of the decisions I make. I'm not going to listen to 29,000 other people tell me we should draft this person, that person. Because, in my mind, that's what killed Matt Millen as far as a GM. And I do wonder if he would have just stuck to his guns, because he was a defensive-minded coach, and there were some great players he turned down drafting so he could take 29 different wide receivers. How different the Lions would have been. But then again, we wouldn't have Dempsey, DC, Brad Holmes in this current rendition of the Lions if that all happened. All right, moving on. Let's see, Trim Reaper. AJ Espera would be a good addition, in your opinion. I think your opinion is a widely shared one. Silver Server, Jen, and good morning to you, Jen. Yeah, it's awfully early there. Dennis Spielman is in the picture of grit in the dictionary. He is the picture of grit, correct. Did that $100K in the Airbnb belong to TA? I don't know. I didn't really look in the story enough to know all the details about it. As someone said yesterday, Martin, he needs to be, tested. All right, well, he'll test him. Eddie, when Matt Millen was the GM of the Lions, were losers. 97.1, the ticket had the right to, they did make some takes on it. Yes, I understand why it upset the Lions, but to be fair, the Lions weren't very good back then. 97.1, the ticket wasn't the only place out there pointing it out. They might have just been the loudest. All right, Martinez, it was an Airbnb robbery, though, connecting TA. All right. Did you know? Good morning, Duke crew. Exclamation point back at you. Thomas, Eddie, Clowney, on the cheap. He's Muhammad all over again. Not enough. To me, it's time to put up or shut up. Time for Brad. Exclamation point. Let's go Reader, Muhammad, Levi, Pascal, then go after Trey or Crosby. Okay. Coach Rock, wish Spielman would take a step out of the shadows and put more on his grit in the process. Yeah, he may just not want to do that. Without talking to him, who was going to know? Bootscar Blade, I know a few guys that know some people, both good and bad. Yes, probably everybody on this show probably knows somebody who knows somebody who knew somebody who stood behind somebody else and checkout at an airport. All right, Eddie Hiller, 97.1, right about Matt and as GM. Could be. I think it's $100K or walking around money for TA. Might be. Let's see, Coach Rock, all I know is anything was an upgrade from Russ Thomas. Also, I'm enjoying this Lions management. Woo! Yeah, Russ Thomas had his detractors. There's no doubt about it. Phil, does Spielman have any influence on player personnel? I'm sure he does have some conversations with Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell or whoever else, but does he make the direct selections? No, that would be all Brad Holmes. Server, do I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who did something? Question mark. I don't need to get that far to find somebody like that. They are right here. Might be true. Hookadoo, Rocky, I just don't get why he doesn't. Martinez, tightly killed? Question mark. No, wait. Yeah, I don't think he's coming here. I know there was all sorts of reports in the last few days. You know, Tyreek Hill wants to come to Detroit. Lions want to sign him. I guess we'll see what happens. Same old soup, just reheated. Tardy but present, like number 69. Thank you for that, my friend, and always glad to have you on the show. Thomas, the cheetah here, question mark, with this trend, no way. With it, yeah, if you could add Tyreek Hill to Tesla, St. Brown, Gibbs, and everybody else on the list, I don't know if there's enough footballs to go around, but man, imagine I had to play defense. Oof. Lions do not want Hill. I would say that's probably accurate. We have our own Hill. We got Jameson Williams. Let's see. Coach Rock seems like Spielman was a big influence early, but he still is. Maybe he still is. I think he did play a big part as far as selecting who you're going to bring in as a coach, GM, and probably some other layers to the team too. Whether or not he wants to be the president and CEO, find out. Thomas, let's see. Hutch's talent is more effort than natural ability. Exclamation point. You want pure talent? Trey and Garrett. All right, we'll see if we can get either one. Phil, does the team scheme make the player or does the player make the scheme? My personal opinion, Phil, and I can only base this on my coaching experience. Other people have different experiences. As a coach, you figure out what the overall talent you have to work with is. And then you scheme to fit that talent as best you can. There's some players, very, very rare, you can put them in any scheme and they're going to be successful. And that's why you say usually in the NFL there's like 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks. Doesn't matter what you put them in, they're going to be just fine. Jared Goff is not that quarterback in my opinion. You've got to put him in the right situation for him to be successful. That's true in basketball, volleyball, baseball. Like I go back to the 90s with the Tigers and some of those early 90s teams with Rob Deere and, who was Mickey Tettleton, Fielder, and all them. They can just bust bats left and right. They can knock the ball out of the park. Are they going to fit in every kind of lineup? No, but they fit in that lineup, and that's true with this team. And any of the players we might add, they're going to have to be probably more schematically correct than just people that can fit in anything. All right, enough about that one. Silver Server, T. Martinez, question mark. I can never figure that out. Perhaps spreading some wealth here and there. Money can't go get to people's heads, right? To say the least. Yeah, it can get to people's heads for sure. No doubt about it. Thomas Phil, real talent can do anything. All right. Thomas Fitzpatrick would be nice. Exclamation point. But how long on pass plays with the D on coverage? Yes. And so it would come down to, I would look at it this way, Thomas. If you're going to add Fitzpatrick through a trade, you're probably making some sort of moves to get more pass rush through the draft or free agency to kind of add to it. Phil, do agents set the price or negotiate it? Do agents get together to push agendas? Yes, they do. Yes, they do push agendas. I think server walk around 100K is foolishness unless somebody is in a certain kind of business. Depends on the business, right? Motown Mitch, think you get paid very well and am treated right by my bosses. I'm covered more all the time. Some things are worth more than a little bit more money. Yeah, everybody's going to, I know where you're going with that with offered. Everybody's going to react to that different. Some people just want to take the money. Other people don't. Go with whatever works for you. Silver Server Cheetah is old, coming off a terrifying and gruesome injury. You are not wrong with that. And he wants a bag. Plus, you got 3 dogs plus Love It and Meeks. Okay. Phil, the gym keeps you busy. But Steph, thanks for what you do. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, she's got a very busy life. It seems to be getting busier from what I can ascertain from the comments and everything. Thomas, fix the offensive line, turn to the D to Seattle or Denver or even the Patriots. Super Bowl, the key is fixing the D. I think you're right. The better D, you got enough offense if you can fix the line. All right, Byron, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew, I missed it, so I'll have to rewatch it. Nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, do what you got to do, right? Sir Martinez, I hear you. Let me just keep thinking TA doesn't need to do drug trafficking. Yeah, I don't think he is. I don't know the full story. I'm sure we'll find out more in the next couple of days, but it doesn't sound like he's got a big tie to it or anything like that. Yeah, let's talk Pistons, Tiger Sports. There are some that want that, and we'll see if we can get that. Matt, not interested in Pistons, Lions only. Trim Reaper should definitely cover the nasty boys. They are, man. And, just talking from a basketball standpoint, went out to dinner, daughter and the wife yesterday, and the Pistons were on. And she doesn't really pay attention to sports. Neither one of them do. I just pointed out why, she asked why the Pistons are relevant now. Well, they drafted well. They've developed very well. I can say that from a coaching standpoint. You see the talent they put on that team and how they've groomed the talent. I think that's a big part of it. And he got everybody to believe into something. Thomas, my biggest hope is that Lovett, a younger TK85, or at best another Raymond, he will absolutely need him soon. Exclamation point, his 4.4 speed is solid, not scary. Okay, does. Hope we stick with Lions as a focus of discussion. This podcast does a great job of discussing without being rude, and I love it. Yeah, I don't get into being negative. It's just not me. Was it Moonscar Blade? He was, he's local to the school that I coach at. He was like, I can't imagine you ever use a certain language because, really outside of coaching, I don't really do it. I do it sometimes in coaching, but more for effect than anything else. Martinez Silver walking around with six figures sets you up for a robbery. Yeah, was it Taryn Arnold walking around with it or somebody else? Who knows? Silver, thumbs up, smile. True Martinez with the exclamation point. Thomas Byron, a new NBA not watchable to me. Let's stick Lions. We are about the Lions. Johnny Gas Sports. Good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Have a great Thursday. Back at you, my friend. Thomas. I like that, y'all. Yeah, if you can hit the like button, that'd be great. Vernon, good morning, Coach Dan, Duke Crew. How do you feel about? We'll find out, but let me know what we're feeling about. Coach Rock, Chubb will probably follow his old coach. Could be. Bo Booth, AJ stands for Alaska, not Arkansas. My bad. That's my fault. I like Alaska too, though. I would like to live there, but the wife does not want to live there. So, good morning, Johnny Gaz. Exclamation point. The Gas man is in the building. Trim Reaper, good morning, Johnny Gaz. Bo, our AK. Darn it. All right, man. Now you got me really confused. Everybody see that car crash? Hornet Mellow Ball got into Thursday afternoon in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, in his camouflage Hummer. I did not. Wheel came off completely. Then he got back in Black Lion Burkini. Yes, I did not see that. But sorry, I missed it. Johnny Gaz, hi, Silver Server, and Trim Reaper. They're all in the building. Bill, greetings, salutations for the Philippines. Coach, NBA seems like a natural for you, but I haven't followed it in decades. Certainly support your expanding your reach. We'll find out, man. I mean, maybe we can add some segments towards the end of the show. I don't know, man. We'll see where it goes. Thomas Kirby. Yeah, here we are almost 6 months after injuries, still issues, exclamation, question mark, big problem. Yeah, but you can say the same thing for an ACL, PCL, or shoulder surgery. 6 months later, you're still going to be dealing with it. So it's not that uncommon. Servicer, right, Thomas Donner, NBA became a joke, just like the dresses and these players. Come on, give me Vinny Johnson back. Yeah, different NBAs for sure, different type of basketball. In my opinion, like for those who remember the original Dream Team with Michael Bird, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, I remember watching that, and probably within about a year or two, you can see in international basketball how the world was changing to combat the NBA players. They were going to what's known as Euroball, basically 5 people out, not really true bigs inside, spreading out our bigs. And then over the next couple Olympics, you can see how that kind of negated some of things. And I'm not going to make this into a basketball conversation, but, that's basically how I learned to coach because I learned to coach the go offense. If you guys remember Loyola Marymount of the late 80s, early 90s, and I've stuck with that ever since. I'd say Byron, Thomas, but the Pistons playing great basketball, though. They are, man, and I like their brand of basketball they're playing. For those who haven't watched them in decades, it would be like the early 2000s Bad Boys 2.0, or the 80s, 90s. There's a lot of similarities there. The one thing I would say is this version of the Pistons have a lot more offense. All right, Thomas, SS 100% NBA, the 30 jump shot league. Yeah, it's part of the game now, and you can thank the Europeans and the Asians for that. They evolved basketball into that. The NBA just kind of replicated it. Vernon, good morning, Coach Dan Duker. How do you feel about Joey Bosa? I would, I don't know enough about him to say what's left in his tank, but if he's got something left, I wouldn't have a problem with it if he's going to be a rotational piece. He can play against the run. He can play against the pass. Is he what he once was? Probably not, but, that's part of playing in the league or the NFL as long as he is. Martinez, woo! Exclamation points back at you. Coach Rock, once again, thank you for all the birthday wishes. Have to take the granddaughter to school now. One pride. Enjoy the time with your granddaughter. String Theory, hey, haven't seen a hot second. Have a good day. Back at you. My Queen Mary, have a blessed day. Once again, happy birthday to you. Well said. Happy birthday, Rock, says Byron. Trim Reaper, Johnny Gaz is live at 9:30. Come join us tonight. Oh, yeah. Exclamation point. Yeah, Gaz, man, does a real good job. Hondo's BS, good morning. Super Bowl 26 loading. I like the way you are foretelling of the future. Kim, Chubb would replace Davenport in the injured bench. Yes, I think Chubb is better than Davenport, in my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong. We're going to after school, you need to hang out with your granddaughter, Rock. Thanks for letting us know about his birthday, little one. Yes, indeed. Way to leak out the information. Like Jared Jones, good morning, Duke Crew. Martinez, happy birthday, Coach Rock. Don Kong, 7 and 10 is realistic with this roster that Brad has driven to the ground with poor drafting and free agent acquisitions are overwhelming. I've liked the drafting outside of the 24 draft. I thought last year's draft was okay. The prior drafts prior to 24, I thought were very, very good. But I get your point, Don Kong. Thomas, stem cells for Kirby. That's what he needs. Miracles? Question mark? Yes. Exclamation point. I think he's actually looked into that, but maybe I'm wrong with that. Byron, if we keep bringing injured Davenport back, why not bring back Kirby? I think Kirby will be back. See, Dennis, I disagree. Donkey, I think we're a few pieces away from a great team. I would lean that way too. Attila, loved all the internet doctors saying how bad or swollen Kirby's knee looked like, but have zero idea what it normally looks like. Doubt it would post something negative. Yeah, I actually took it as positive news with him putting that out there. I didn't take it as negative. To your point, Attila. Coach, me and Jerry Ball drink a can of Mountain Dew. We were talking about how football has changed a lot. Yeah, all sports evolve, right? Over time it happens. Rolando, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. This is our year. Exclamation point. I like the way you were thinking. Don Kong, roster's absolute shambles. Maybe we'll find out, my friend. Let's see, Byron. Do you hear that Raiders looking for a premier player and 2 first-round picks? I don't think they're going to get it. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I just don't think Max Crosby's that dude. I think he's a very good player. And again, this is just my opinion. It's not like, the Bible or anything. I think he's a very good player. Would I give up a first rounder for him? Maybe. But I would not be sold on giving up multiple first rounders for him. Raiders would get that from the Bears. Let the Bears do it then, I'd say. All right, Queen Mary got run early today. Have a blessed day. Stay safe, y'all. See you in the morning. See you in the morning. Have a great day, Queen Mary. We're going to have a safe day, Mary. Trim Reaper, peace and grace, Mary, with some prayers. Benjamin Brewer, Holmes is not capable of making any meaningful trades unless he gives up one of our offensive stars. There you go. Thomas, you want the NBA watch? Will eliminate the three-point line. All right. Phil, separate shows for Pistons as if you have time for that. That'd be a good question. Buy Coach's books. They are great work. Thanks for that, man. Yeah, if you guys want, go check them out on Amazon. Phil, Coaches. Yeah, I knew we were going with that. Henry Moore, have a glorious day, my friends. I'll chat with you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Hookadoo. He has about a gajillion other jobs. You're right. Exclamation point. I enjoy being busy. That's just me. Probably always going to be until the day I depart. Dennis, enjoy a beautiful day. All one pride. Exclamation point. Have a great one. JC, 2000 Pistons were known as going to work Pistons. Yes, you were right with that. Good call there. I enjoyed going and watching them. I enjoyed that. It was a different brand of basketball, but I think there's a lot of similarities between that and this team. I just think this year's team has a lot more offense. All right, Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke Crew, One Pride Worldwide. Enjoy your day. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to y'all as soon as possible. It would be so kind before departing. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit all the ones. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. Have a phenomenal day.